The Audi A8 60 is a sedate, accommodating Luxo barge with a turbo V8. The S7 is an aggressive, hatch coupe-looking thing with a turbo V6. They're both very different approaches to an expensive automobile, but according to Audi, they have the same 0 to 60 time. So today we're going to conduct a bit of a real-world tiebreaker, and I have the A7 here as a reference point. So let's get started. If you haven't done so already, please consider subscribing. That way you get quality content and I get closer to making this a full-time job. Thanks. Now back to the video. Before I hop into the 2021 S7 and 2021 A8 60, let's see what an A7 with the 3-liter can pull off. Powering the A7 is Audi's 3-liter turbocharged V6. It is a mild hybrid setup, just like the rest of them, which gives it a fancy auto stop start. It powers the accessory equipment and improves turbo response. This power plant makes 335 horsepower and 369 pound-feet of torque. As the spec sheet said, this is a 2019 model, but the 2021s will have the same engine and transmission, making the same numbers. New for 2021, you can opt for an A7 55E plug-in hybrid with the same torque, 27 more horsepower, a 24-mile EV-only range, and a 5.7 second 0 to 60 according to Audi, which is actually a little slower. All A7s use a 7-speed dual-clutch automatic, but the hybrid comes with a 2-liter Turbo 4 to accompany the electric motor. I'll try to test one when I can, but real quick, I'd like to thank the awesome folks at Royal on the Eastside for loaning me the Audis used in this video. If you're looking for something new, used, or just plain cool, check them out. Now this thing really doesn't feel super aggressive. Even in the sport setting, if you're not really planting the throttle, it doesn't act too jumpy, which is nice because this has a 7-speed dual clutch transmission. Even at low speeds, I didn't find this to be clunky, which I have found in some other dual clutches. And of course, the benefit to a dual clutch is rapid shifting. What I'm going to do for all of the 0 to 60 tests is put the car into dynamic mode, and then I'm going to hold the traction control off button for roughly 10 seconds until I see the ESC off pop up in the bottom. Slight delay. That is fast. Oh my gosh. It's definitely quicker than the A5s, the A4s, the A3s, and we have a 0 to 60 time of 4.62 seconds. A lot better than what Audi has rated this thing. Now around corners, the steering of the A7 is still competent. You know, a little understeer there because there was a lot of gravel, but it builds up quite nicely, and if you put it in comfort mode, I mean, it drops down to a weight of almost nothing. Yes, the steering is still pretty numb, but the precision makes it confidence-inspiring, and the weight is so variable to it that you can pretty much find an ideal amount for whatever type of driving you want to do. And the standard adaptive air suspension means that, I mean, it's really quite comfortable over most types of roads. The thin sidewalls kind of prevent it from being a Luxo barge of any sort, but still pretty good. All right, run number 2. Little delay at that launch. Still, holy shit. Honestly, if this didn't sound so tame compared to the S products, I think that this would feel like an S7, S5. This completely blew the doors off of Audi's rating. And actually, I did one run while my GoPro wasn't functioning properly and got 4.54 seconds. It's still not as violent as the S7. It's these kinds of numbers that almost make you question, should I buy the S7? Now, obviously, this does not have the available sport equipment, so The suspension is tuned differently. You're not going to have the availability of the Sport S package, which I will get into when I hop into the S7 now. Under the hood of the 2021 Audi S7, you're going to have a mild hybrid setup, actually. It's a 2.9 liter V6 making 444 horsepower and 443 pound-feet of torque. Now, all this power is going to be routed through an 8-speed automatic. It is not a dual clutch like the regular Audi A7. But I don't think that matters. Because to my senses, and probably to most people, this is going to feel just as snappy as a dual clutch. Now, this model has the S Sport package, which is going to give you their dynamic all-wheel steering, red brake calipers, a Sport exhaust system, and the Sport rear differential, which is really nice to have in tight corners and might even help a little bit in this 0 to 60 test. The steering in here is quick. It is definitely numb, as you'd probably expect from an Audi product. Body roll of this thing is pretty well kept, but you definitely still feel the heft of the S7. This is not a small car. Now, another package that's available is the adaptive steel suspension. And what that is, well, it gets rid of the factory adaptive air suspension that is tuned for S products and replaces the air springs, I guess, with the steel springs. It still has adaptive dampening, but it's going to be for those that are a little bit more hardcore. It feels just as fast as the S5. Ooh. 0 to 60 came in at 4.24 seconds. So really the same as the S5. We launched about 3,000 RPMs. Man, that second shift is harsh. So that one was pretty much the exact same. While I'm still in here, I'd like to note that this thing is a quiet and comfortable vehicle when you want it to be. If you put it in comfort, the exhaust backs off a little bit. The suspension, especially with the air ride, becomes very tolerable. Wind noise is kept to a minimum because this is a more sleek shape. And this definitely has more insulation. It's just a much quieter vehicle than the S5 that I drove just a few months ago. On paper, the S7 has a better power to weight ratio than the bigger A8. However, Audi claims that the A8 with the 4-liter and the S7 will both hit 60 in 4.5 seconds. We've already seen the S7 beat that, and Audi tends to underrate their engines pretty big, and I think that this V8 is another culprit of that. If you want the best that Audi has to offer when it comes to a serene experience, the Audi A8 is pretty much unmatched. The first thing that you notice with the A8L are the seats. They are just more plush. Obviously, they're less aggressive in terms of bolstering, but I'm talking about the material themselves. It's just more pleasant. When it comes to road noise, the S7 was pretty good. This is obviously great. The acceleration is just, I mean, it's so much quieter. It sounds more like an old Lexus. It's almost like the noise was designed to just be reassuring rather than invigorating. Now, when it comes to performance, you're going to have a 4-liter twin-turbo V8 underneath the hood. It's going to make 453 horsepower and 487 pound-feet of torque. That additional torque is definitely needed here because this is going to weigh 400, 500 pounds more than that S7. Well, this doesn't have sport rear differential. In fact, there's not really a sport package. You can opt for the S8, which is going to have a hopped up version of this engine. And for reference, the two cars that I have here are priced within $5,000 of each other. So that's why I find this test to be particularly interesting. Now, this is closer to the base end of the A860, whereas the S7 was the Prestige with the S Sport package, the black optics package and whatnot. But those still start at $85,000. Now, you can also get an A8 that starts at $85,000. But that is the A855, which features a 3-liter mild hybrid setup V6 that's turbocharged and makes 335 horsepower. Now, there is also a hybrid A860, which makes very similar power to this, but Audi rates that as, I think, 0.4 seconds slower to 60. Anyway, we're going to do the same procedure here. Foot on the brake, plant it. Oh man, wheel spin. That was fast. The delivery in this is noticeably different from the 2.9 liter in the S7, and I was kind of surprised because these are both forced induction and they both have the same 8-speed automatic. Now the first to second shift is definitely more rough. 0 to 60 in 4.36 seconds. Now around corners, if I thought the S7 steering was numb, this one just takes all of the drama out of the equation. The body roll itself and the control of it is actually pretty good. I wouldn't say that this handles like a behemoth. It's quite composed, if I'm being honest. Standard, this is going to have the adaptive air suspension that's tuned for comfort, but it definitely stiffens up enough for this application. I'm expecting the S7 to still win here, but that gave me some hope. That was the worst launch. Damn, that is so fast. And you almost hear some of that whining from the electric system some, and it's kind of cool. Wait, what? NANI? Oh, shit! Oh, damn! 3.98 seconds! I am beyond words. That is awesome. This thing just whooped the fucking S7. I was not expecting that. I am... Well, maybe it didn't whoop the S7, but you get what I mean. Clearly, the S7 is more performance-minded. I have seen S7 score times a smidge below 4 seconds with some other outlets, which could be due to them using a drag strip or better road surface, along with differences in temperature. With my very average road, and both models using launch control, the A8 just edged it out. The A8 controls its size well, but it still rolls through corners compared to the S7, and the transmission tends to shift slower, something I noticed a lot in the first 0 to 60 run. However, that V8 is straight meaty, good lord. I thought the second launch was worse because the RPMs dropped a little just before I released the brake, but the low-end torque came through. Also, we should take a second and give the A7 some credit for pulling off 4.5 to 4.7 second runs. If straight line speed and a lower price tag take more precedence than looks, cornering limits, and sound, the A7 will serve you well. With a tune, it should be just as quick as an S7 in acceleration, and it's not far behind stock. This shocked me. The S7 is still an awesome blend of everything. The steering ratio is actually the same as the A7 3-liter, but it has higher limits, a more responsive throttle, and sounds better, which makes it feel more special than the A7. But as I mentioned earlier, pack on the options and consider the typically larger discounts on the A8, and you're flirting with the price of an executive pack A8 4-liter with the same luxury features as a loaded S7, except that the A8 is in a different league of comfort and is, at least in my real-world tests, quicker than the S7. At this point, I know some people's fingers are burning to comment that the A8 does not compete with the S7, and also that I'm a bumbling idiot, to which I say, I know. Most customers aren't cross-shopping the two. I think all of these cars are phenomenal for their target audience. The A8 could have done 0 to 60 in 5 seconds, and I don't think that would have wavered anyone's buying choice between these three. However, it didn't. And that just gives this thing a wow factor. It's why car people tend to love sleepers. This test, like most of these 0 to 60 or drag race comparisons online, serve to inform viewers about the cars, but the results themselves are kind of pointless. Except, if you're like me, you still want the answers. And now you have them. So, if you ever find yourself in an S7 and you see an 8-cylinder A8 pull up next to you at the stoplight, I probably wouldn't talk shit because there's a chance they'll dust your ass. Oh, and street racing is illegal. Anyway, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Cool. Wait, what? Oh, shit! Oh, damn! 3.98 seconds!